Real quick video about priority needs and a bit of a pitfall that people fall into a lot, I see. And I was going to do like a maybe more organised video about this, but I can't group this together with other things, so it's a bit of a miscellaneous one. But basically, came up in a case I saw recently where a really good drug and alcohol worker I known her for many years, really kind of committed to the job. She was trying to help someone get housed, and what had happened was the council had accepted the individual was in priority needs, but that but the applicant was intentionally homeless. And so the drug and alcohol worker had, kind of quite rightly challenged that decision, and so written a Section 202 review. However, misunderstood the way the 5-part test works. And so the Section 202 review was based on the fact that, this lady was clearly very vulnerable. But as I say, the council had already actually acknowledged that. They'd already said, yeah, we accept that she's in priority needs. We just think she's intentionally homeless. And I see it happen a lot. It just kind of made me think about it recently. Because the 5-part test, if someone's homeless, if they're eligible, priority needs, have local connection, are intentionally homeless, they're all standalone tests, although they do often kind of have themes within them which overlap. So, for example, someone's mental health issues might make them in priority need and also not intentionally homeless because they had maybe an issue with capacity at a certain time. So, although you do see kind of things, kind of crossing the boundaries of these 5-part tests, they are all separate. And so, if a decision from a council is that you are not in priority needs, your only argument at that point is to say why they are in priority need. And equally, in the situation that we're talking about here, where the council's decision is that they are intentionally homeless, you can keep arguing to your blue in the face that they're in priority needs and they're very vulnerable and all that sort of stuff. But unless you address the question of whether they're intentionally homeless, you're not going to win the argument. The council's just basically going to say, whatever, and just kind of uphold the decision, and that person won't get housed. Now, fortunately, in this situation, we were able to feed some information in which enabled the kind of council to be successfully challenged, and there was in fact a duty because the lady wasn't in fact intentionally homeless. But just kind of, as I say, maybe just think, I've seen it a few times over the years where people just understandably misunderstand how the 5-part test works and how each test needs to be dealt with separately, even though there'll be things which kind of cross the boundaries between them. So hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions about this, stick it in the comments. I'll take any questions to the next live stream if I can't answer it immediately. We do the live stream most Thursdays. If not, it'll be on a Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. You can watch it live. You don't have to watch it live though. And if you submit a question, I'll basically respond to say, yeah, I've seen it. I'm going to ask it on this particular date. And then I'll try my best to index the questions we go through on the night. If you anonymise them, as in you pose them as what-if questions, I'll prioritise them. So I'll answer those ones first on the live stream. So I would just ask that people definitely don't share personal data on the channel. So if you've got a question about the law, just ask it as a what-if question. What if someone had been found intentionally homeless, but they're in priority need? Just ask it like that rather than saying I've been found intentionally homeless and I'm in priority need. You'll get the same answer, but it's going to be a better way of doing it. You don't have to share your data all over the internet. But yeah, we'll kind of take it there. Be myself, my colleague Shannon, and then Will and Karis from Virgo Solicitors, who can then basically, we'll try our best to unpick it all